Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Blue Stinger. In the last part we explored the power plant. I don't know why I continue to call it the power station looking back. I think my brain just forgot the word plant existed for a good 20 minutes. In the last part we did that, and now it's time for us to get back to Janine's command center. With that said, the route back is thankfully a lot simpler than the route to here. We don't have to go around that giant tank that we sacrificed in order to get over here. I really hope that giant gas canister wasn't super essential to the functions of the island. But now that we've gone to the power plant, this gate here just opens up. It was locked if you tried to come from the other side. Just make sure around here you still stay away from any of those turrets because they will hurt and can combo you. Feels like you should be able to squeeze past these antennae, but oh well. Come on, I should have enough room. With that said, once we get in here, we can take an immediate right turn to, or go back into the previous room accidentally. We can take an immediate right turn to return to the pathway we're using to get to the tank to begin with. In fact, the little hole we used to get into the tank in the beginning of last part was right here. So we're not too far away from the command center, thankfully. It's times like this I wish there was a slightly faster movement option, like maybe something out of... My brain immediately goes to what Yakuza 0 onwards does, where you can just hold X and sprint forward a little bit, maybe have a slight stamina gauge or something. It kind of reminds me that for all of the missteps that Resident Evil 6 had in terms of like storytelling and everything, the ability to aim while walking and the sprint feature were legitimately appreciated. I wish I had that in Resident Evil 4. In fact, who knows, maybe we'll actually get that in RE4 Remake, which, given that it's currently February 2021, is probably going to be coming out within the next year. Because they're definitely teasing that a lot in the lead up to Resident Evil 8, which I'm looking forward to. I still got to play 7, though. Just kind of avoided that for some reason back when it was first released. Looks real cool. I know the entire story, just never played it. Either way, thankfully, we are now back at the command center, so let's see what the hell's been going on with Janine in our absence.
What is it? Neffy? Yes? Ugh.
Well, shit, that doesn't look too good.
Janine! You did this?
I guess she's not on our side after all.
I'm fine. Nephilim is not an enemy. I can see now what she's trying to tell us, but...
But...
Well, it's a vision. Hard to describe in words. She's not human.
I think that's obvious.
I mean, she's still an intelligent life form, but how should I phrase it? It's as if her body and soul can be detached. The Nephilim we see now is her soul.
Her body is in a different place?
Is that all you gotta say? Okay, guess I'll just go over here.
What's the blue blinking light represent?
I don't know. I can't identify it.
Well, how do you get into the research lab?
I'm sure you can get in with Chris's ID.
I wonder if this blue light is the cause of the disaster.
Is this one of your hunches again?
I'm not twisting your arm to come with me.
Don't be a smartass, kid.
The electricity's back on. I can unlock the run road and open the door to the car. It's a lot safer to use the car. Merry Christmas!
It's now the 25th.
Oh, this is the worst Christmas I ever had.
Damn, it's my payday.
Did you miss a date tonight?
No way. Let's go.
To the bank?
No, to the place where the blue light's at. Call me when you need me, Janine.
All right, now, Elliot, I hear you want to go over there, but hear me out. We go to the bank. Because Elliot's completely correct. You do get paid on the 25th. So if you already withdrew the money from Elliot's ATM card back at the bank in Labtown, you can go back there and he has more money. And he's not alone. Any of the other ATM cards we found throughout the game, they're of Kimura/Kimura Tech employees as well. And because of that, they also get paid on the 25th. And since it's now Christmas in-game, we can reap those ATM cards for some sweet, sweet cash. But that said, I should note, you don't have to go back through the freezer in order to get back to Labtown quickly. You can just pull the inverse route from when we left Labtown, push this block over to this gate, and swim through the waterlogged section of town. Is it tedious to do? Yes. Thankfully, though, in most playthroughs, this is probably going to be the last time in the game you head to Labtown, period. There's not much of a reason to go back there after this point in the game. As at this point, we also now have a particular item. You might remember last part, we got the Omega Club key in the power plant. You can use that over here in the room after the arcade to open up the Omega Club, which is a bit of a collection of items on the inside. There's no enemies in here. And there's never any key items. You can completely skip this place. But as for what there is, there's some large hassies, there's a free steak plate, there's some ammo for Elliot's bazooka in here in the back room where the employees would prepare for their shift, so to speak. But also in the back is debatably Elliot's best physical weapon. I say debatably because the top three are all pretty useful in their own ways. The Iron Fists have the combo potential and speed, but what they don't have is quite the amount of range of the Ray Sword. It's a lightsaber, plain and simple. Slower, yes, but it has a bit more horizontal range. It's a bit louder, and it does do more damage, period. There is technically one physical weapon for Elliot stronger than it, but that is a much more limited weapon, and we're not going to get that until next part-ish? 2 parts ago now? Honestly, the next part of the game, I'm a little vague on how I progressed in terms of actual recordings. Which is odd. You'd think I'd remember the later game more in terms of recording than the early game, but, Either way, now we're done in this area, so let's head over to the bank. Now, we already know the passcode for the Kimura ATM card and Elliot's ATM card. But we have the Yucatan card, which has shown off before. It says Civil War on the back. And then we have the Bermuda Bank card, which you have to do some real big calculations to actually get the password to. Bottom line, the Yucatan ATM card's password is 1861, the year the American Civil War started. Holy shit, that's one hell of a payday. And the Bermuda ATM card's password is 1394 from memory. I actually forget how you're supposed to figure out that's what it is. I just remembered that is what it is. Ooh, 3,300. That's tasty. And it's only going to get bigger bucks from us. It's only going to get bigger in bucks for us from here, because I believe at this point the Yucatan card will give us 5,700, and the Bermuda one's going to give us even more. Notably, you can use these once you get back to the command center without seeing that cutscene where it becomes Christmas, but you get more money on Christmas anyway, so it's just worth waiting the extra few seconds. Ooh, 6,000. That puts us at more money than I had when I grinded. Holy shit. So, yeah, I think you can guess what my next stop is going to be from this, right? If you guessed the special floor on the second floor of the Hello Market, you are correct. However, I'm only here to get one thing, and it's ammunition by and large. I technically don't need to get this for a while yet, because I only really tend to use it on one boss fight. But I am here to get the most expensive single purchase in the game, Dogs' rocket launcher from the vending machine here on the far right. It costs 16,000 and for good reason. This thing is powerful. And while I have usually said that you might want to hold off on buying some weapons because you can find a lot of them in the map, you can never find Dogs' bazooka outside of this room. You can find ammunition for it, weirdly enough, towards the end game on the world map, so to speak, but you can't find the bazooka, and I find that design choice odd, honestly. And while you're here, I also recommend stocking up on any of the specialty ammunitions you might need, especially be it railgun or napalm, because both of those are going to come in handy a lot during the next area. With that said, let's now cut back to the command center, because, well, we need to come here to get to our next destination anyway. Because they're a little bit vague initially on how to get to our next destination. You want to head back the way we came through, honestly. Right back towards the power plant. But the moment you actually leave the command center building, right through this door, you want to hang an immediate right where there is a car waiting for us. You actually technically don't even need to use this car, but more on that in a moment. Kind of shit parking job there, Elliot. Now, the reason I say you technically don't need to use that is because the car key was the reward for beating the Van Scorpion boss fight a second time. You could just walk down that pathway and you'll eventually find your way to this building anyway. It's more or less just a minor shortcut of sorts. You technically skip a few enemies and skip a few items in the process, but we'll be able to get those later on anyway. For now, we want to come on in here and pick these things up.
We should change.
I can't fit into a size M.
I guess you'll have to go without changing.
Do you think it's safe?
If not, we'll have to find a bigger size. I found something in my pocket.
Alright, so you might be wondering why we just changed clothes. If you actually try to go through the main central door to my direct right now, you'll be blockaded because apparently you need to be wearing not only specific things, but make sure you're actually clean, because it's essentially detecting that you're not infected, but definitely not sanitary.
This Santa's outfit is size LL.
Hey, what are you suggesting?
It's perfect for you.
I guess I have no choice.
It suits you.
When you have a kid, I'll visit you from the chimney.
That day might come soon.
Shut up, Elliot. With that said, the Santa suit's also necessary not only for humor's sake, but also because it's a clean outfit for dogs to wear. And this cafeteria here is actually really stocked. It has basically every single one of the normal food sets you've seen thus far, be it the Hassies and the sandwich, the Hassie hot dog hamburger combo, or otherwise. You can even get steak plates here, if I recall, from at least one of the machines. But now, here's the thing. We have clean clothes now, but Elliot and dogs themselves are not counted as sanitary. So we need to clean them off somehow. Gee, this bathroom is conveniently placed, isn't it?
Look at that. It's a bathtub.
What do you mean, cool?
Stink. It's the smell which burns out.
Really?
Of course I'm joking, idiot.
Watch it, you old coos. Careful whose leg you're pulling.
I'm babbling. Let's go.
Now for the hardest to understand due to audio layering cutscene in the game.
Take a bath. Nothing's gonna stop me.
What you'll do if the monster attacks you while you're butt naked.
I'll fight back, butt naked. Stop whining. Let's jump in the tub.
I'm not sure if this is such a good idea.
Hey, in the tub we go. Taking a bath in the middle of the battlefield. That cool.
Well, I guess.
Hey, you more macho than I thought.
Shut up.
This might be the last bath I can
I see.
And now we're clean. Also, I should note, technically a little foreshadowing there. Is that goddamn Comic Sans? Sorry. The models that they switch into for that cutscene are the models used in the swimsuit mode that I forget if I've mentioned or not, honestly, at this point in time.
Clean check passed. You are now permitted to enter.
That's why you needed to change the clothes and take the bath. If I haven't mentioned it yet, if you beat the game, I think 2 or 3 times in a row, you get an option more or less to switch into swimsuit mode, where Elliot is in swim trunks, Dogs is in one of those weird little sumo wraps, I can't remember the proper name of at least at this point in time. As well, Janine is just straight up in a bikini. 90s horniness. We look upon you with disgust at times, honestly. Now, in this section, there's a couple directions you can go. Just make sure you don't go through this door, because it says the area is filled with toxic gases. You can't breathe in that shit, and you die almost instantly. Like, you have maybe a couple of seconds to go back into the previous room, but it's basically another drowning situation. I don't know why I went through that door 2 or 3 times. I think I actually meant to cut that out, but oh well. Also notable, there is a kiss room here, so there's a free restock station and everything. With that said, one thing I would definitely recommend at this point, if you're low on any ammunition, make sure you stock up on railgun ammo and either the shotgun or the handgun if you're low on those in particular, as I feel for the next part of the game, those particular weapons are going to be very useful, especially the railgun. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in Part 8, we're going to be further exploring this part of the lab. I forget the name that they called this thing last part or 2 parts ago, and seeing what awaits us within. See you guys then.